once people cross that 50 age barrier, a lot of them are naturally kind of going towards having plants at home. There's a lot of myth that if there's pollution outside, just put plants inside. That's not going to solve the problem. In order to get into this, if the intention is to make money, you're never going to be successful. This is a category or a field where there has to be passion coming from within. It's not easy.
Welcome to StartupPod, a collaborative podcast by Ideas to Impacts Hub and Binge Pods, where we talk to successful startup founders so your idea can talk for itself. Today we have Mr. Siddharth Balinge, the founder of Ugaoo. Ugaoo is a one-stop solution towards urban gardening. So let's hear it from the man himself, where his story began and the innovation took place. Welcome, Siddharth.
Hi, Saili.
Thank you so much for coming around here. We've been chasing you for quite some time. So thank you so much for making time today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Siddharth, to start off right off the bat, I wanted to ask you what made you come from the legacy that you had in the family business and start off something that is in the similar space, but still had that enough innovative of a factor.
So since childhood, at the dinner table during family discussions, the point was always, or the discussion was always around plants. Since my family business is a seed company, it's India's oldest seed company, about 140 years old. So I was very driven towards design. So a fusion of that was landscape architecture. So that's what I studied for my bachelor's in the US. I was there for 5 years. And then after coming back, I kind of looked at the market. I realized that there's a dearth of specialized gardening stores, or even knowledge is not there with the people. So I wanted to make sure that I work in the field of plants. My family business was more rural, but I wanted to work towards the urban market. So that is why I chose plants or gardening as my category when I wanted to start out.
And since you talked about your education in US, did you identify the gap while being there, that there is a scope in India as well for landscape architecture, as you said, and that's where the need arose from?
Yes, absolutely. While I was studying landscape architecture, I realized what value plants add to people's lives. May it be around yourself, indoors or outdoors. And that knowledge or that understanding of plants was really missing in India. Of course, we have always been used to having plants in our balcony, but we are very confined to a very few selective ones like a tulsi plant or a hibiscus or maybe lemongrass, coriander. But there is more than that in the plant world, and it can be very well integrated with home decor or even edible gardens, right? Growing your own food is a big thing outside in the Western world. So I thought there is a gap in India, and someone had to come and really put the foot down and educate, really hone these people, or at least inform them that this is there out there, it is going to be accessible, and you can get into it or avail this very easily by buying it online, sitting at your home.
Right. And what would you say in this case were the challenges to educate people or be even, up about it, that people adopt plants or people buy plants off of a e-commerce platform?
And it has always been a very tough journey. When we started out Ugaoo, many people asked me, why would I buy plants online, right? Like, how will the plant even survive in a box? It's not it's not a t-shirt, or it's not a artifact or a gadget that you can just put in a box, it'll travel for 5 days. So that belief was missing, but I wanted to prove everyone wrong, because we deal in indoor plants. We knew what interventions we can do just before shipping out the plants, so that they will stay very healthy during that 5-day period. So we had to create that belief that yes, your plant will arrive in the same condition and look as you're seeing on the website. A lot of innovation was done along the lines. Maybe it be the pot, the recipe of the soil that we used for these plants, the treatment that we gave them a couple of hours before they were being packed in the box. So a lot of science has gone into it, and we have learned it all over the years. It was never that easy. It never came to us during day one. So slowly, these things happened, and now I think we have exposed the consumer to a lot more varieties than that are there available at the local nursery. Over there, you're limited to those 40, 50, fast moving varieties. We have almost 247. So if you are a plant lover, you get all the exotic species. And even if you're a newbie, we guide you as to which plant is easy to maintain, which plant you should start with, then graduate to the next level, then graduate to the advanced level. So we are making sure that the journey is very smooth, and that is why people are coming and buying with us again and again.
Right. And how does that process go about? I mean, if I am a newbie, I come to your platform. What is the information that I have to feed in to get that output from your end?
So, I mean, when I talk about newbie plant parents, right, they're mostly coming from Gen Z and the millennials. So the best way is we have a quiz on our website. So you can answer questions like how many days am I at home? How many days would I like to water? Am I a frequent traveler? So that we can choose or suggest the plants accordingly. So through a few permutations and combinations, we suggest 3 to 5 plants. Now that's one part. Second is like basis the requirement of the light, or maybe the room that you want to keep your plant in. Maybe you have a pet at home, so you need a pet friendly plant. So all these options are available in the filters. You can sort it out through our very extensive kind of breakdown of the category of plants and reach to the right one. And the third one is we have about 15 to 16 horticulturists in our customer delight team. So you can always put a message on our website or just give us a call. We try to understand, what space you have. We also do video calls and we understand what is your need, how much you can really take care of the plants, and then only suggest you those 4 to 5 plants that you should really invest in when you're beginning.
Oh, nice. What were the major challenges that you stumbled upon, and how did you overcome them?
I think we had a lot of challenges from the beginning, but that's the fun part of building a business, and that's what I knew from the beginning, that I don't have a precedent to look up to, right? Like a clothing company can look at a Zara or a very premium luxury brand or even a mass brand and see how they played the game. Did they enter retail first? How were the margins? How did they manage the supply chain? In our category, there is no other brand. I mean, forget India. In abroad also, there are not many brands in this category. It's more of these mom and pop shops or the larger garden center chains. So it was very good to learn. I traveled a lot. In US, I used to go to a lot of these garden centers. As soon as I started Ugaoo, I went to US. I still go to Europe every year to understand what's new. How are they kind of adding those varieties? What kind of non-plant things are they adding? Maybe a fertilizer, a garden tool, maybe a garden machinery that's that's becoming popular. Now people have ventured into garden furniture, barbecue, inflatable pools. So travel makes me learn a lot more about this category, and every country has a very different approach to gardening. So it's always fun to learn more. And yes, I mean, it's exciting to write your own playbook rather than following someone else's.
So these are very high-end items, let's say, and even in India, COVID में बहुत ज़्यादा growth हुआ है in the urban gardening sector, about 120%, I'd say. So how did Ugaoo really cash into that benefit?
I think we grew almost 3 times during COVID, that COVID year. That's when people really discovered the brand, I would say. A lot of people wanted to take up gardening or wanted to just have 3-4 plants around, and there was no way they could go out and go to visit a nursery. So that's when a lot of our new customers came in, that new cohort we got, and they have still been, kind of continuing with us ever since then.
I wanted to get a better look at what your P&L looks like. I mean, what are the different ways of the revenue that you have, multiple channels that we have, and what are the top expenses as well?
So we focus on 5 main channels. Number 1 being our own website. Number 2, so in website, I also consider the app that we have. The second one is all marketplaces, or Amazon is very big for us. Almost 35% of our revenues come from Amazon. Then is other marketplaces like Myntra, Flipkart, a few home decor marketplaces like Doosan, Bari, Tata Click. Third is quick commerce for us. Almost 25% of our revenues come from Zepto, Blinkit, and Instamart. Fifth is retail, and sixth would be corporate services, and in that we have corporate gifting, we have garden setup, and also maintenance of corporate parks or even offices, wherein people usually buy 500 plants and they want someone to come in, water them like twice a week or something.
And consolidating all of that, if I may ask, what is the revenue look like today?
That is about 20%, the corporate side of it. Yeah.
Amazing. What was that one time, or what was your revenue generation at which you thought that it's a safe space to raise fund?
I think rather than looking at the revenue number, what I really emphasized on, when I should go raise funds is, do I have clear visibility that if my revenue is X, by doing these 3 things, I can go from X to 5X. And these 3 things I will need funding for. That was a very basic way of looking at whether I need to raise funds. If I am raising funds to put it in a performance marketing campaign or put it on Instagram, Facebook ad campaigns, then I don't need the funds. That can be done with operational revenues that I get. So it was more about what capex do I need, what kind of people do I need, and which geographies do I need to get into through supply chain, and how much money will it take to get there. So that when I got to know that, okay, I have figured out the product, I have figured out, the entire kind of supply chain on right from the growing to how to market it, which channels to use for it. And I just wanted to be in more cities or more, have more visibility. That's when I decided I need to raise funds and quickly get to that 5x number.
So since we're already talking about how you raised, I'm pretty sure you're used to pitching about yourself. So today, at this day, if Siddharth had to pitch about Ugaoo, how would he do in 3 minutes?
Sure. So Ugaoo is India's most loved gardening brand. We are here to make gardening easier and more accessible for the next generation of consumers. We believe we are an entry brand for the millennials and the Gen Z who want to take up this journey of gardening or owning a plant. Right now, we deal with a wide range of products like seeds, plants, fertilizers, pots and planters, garden tools and accessories, and other outdoor products. Right now, we sell on our own website. We sell on all the marketplaces, quick commerce channels like Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, and also cater to garden services and maintenance of corporates, homes, and we provide a one-stop solution in case you're looking for any product or service related to gardening.
That was perfect. And I'd say most of your services or solutions are very catering towards the new age gardening. Yeah. What would you say are the major differences between traditional and this new age gardening?
So earlier on, like traditional gardening used to be, so we had larger homes, right? Bungalows. We had like front yards, backyards, and also, gardening was more around kiwi, sow some vegetables. We sow tulsi or some medicinal plants which we use like aloe vera and all. Right now, the new age gardening is that when you're living in a flat, only having 3 or 4 plants is also called gardening. We call it plant parenting, but it's also called gardening, right? Because you cannot have a large patch of land in today's world. But the satisfaction you get within yourself is the same as if you would have a backyard full of lawn and other larger trees and all. So I think the new age is more about crisp, lesser plants that really give you that fresh air or give you something in return. And some of the 5 plants you should definitely have. One for sure is snake plant because it gives you the most amount of oxygen at night. So it's a great plant to have in your bedroom. Second, I believe, is peace lily. Again, an air purifying plant. Wonderful flowers. It flowers twice a year mostly. Third plant, very basic and very easy to maintain, is a money plant. You can just, put it on top of a cupboard or on a shelf, and that nice droop feeling that it gives is amazing. Fourth could be jade plant. It's very easy to maintain. You just have to keep it in wherever in a region where you get full sun. It is said to bring you a lot of prosperity, wealth, and happiness. And the fifth plant I believe you should have is a medicinal plant. It can either be a tulsi or an aloe vera, which you can really consume on a day-to-day basis, right? You know that tulsi seeds inside water, like, helps your body calm down, or a tulsi leaf, just with maybe a rice, or even in your regular daily food, helps you kind of build your immune system. So these are the 5 plants you should definitely have.
On that note as well, I think it's very therapeutic, even if nothing's coming out of the soil for me, and I'm patient towards it. It will keep my mental peace for about 3-4 months, at least, since I'm hoping something to come out of it. Is that a trend that you see in Indian consumers when it comes to plant parenting? Giving it a psychological effect far more than, say, aesthetics of it.
Yes, definitely. I think growing a plant or growing from a seed is a well-being product. You're so excited. There is an emotional connect that you form with that plant. Every other day you will look whether the plant has given a new leaf, and that new leaf gives you that smile, which is much better than watching a funny video or getting entertained by any other thing. So it's very therapeutic. It gives you that satisfaction that, oh, I have done this and this has come out of because of my hard work or my love for that hobby or that plant. So yes, a lot of people have taken up gardening just to calm down, just for mental peace. And naturally, as you grow, if you would have seen, once people cross that 50 age barrier, a lot of them are naturally kind of going towards having plants at home. They feel that plants are their friends. Many people talk to the plants on a daily basis, right? They feel the plants will also grow better, and they're able to shed a lot of, like emotions that are stuck within them. So, I mean, how pets are, like, very stress relieving, I feel plants have the same qualities in them as well.
And in this category, there are these certain plants that are known to be anti-anxiety, or plants that help you sleep better. Are those a real deal, or is that just a myth?
Yes, of course. I mean, some of it is real, some of it is a myth. Basically, when it comes to, let's say, air purification, right? There are these 7 to 8 plants which have been tested by NASA in the laboratory, that have been tested to reduce the gaseous substances. There's a lot of myth that if there's pollution outside, just put plants inside. That's not going to solve the problem. PM particles are very different from gaseous substances. Plants are good for cleansing the gaseous substances that comes out of, let's say, an AC, or switching on a TV, or something like even the carpet, or just the clothes that we wear, or the kind of chemical that is on our wallet or shoes, right? They always keep emitting certain substances that can be consumed by plants or the soil that they're growing in. When it comes to stress relieving or boosting creativity, nature has its own shapes, sizes, patterns on the leaves, right? And that is being created by God. So as we are a part of nature, we naturally calm down looking at certain patterns. So a succulent with a nice rosette pattern, if you look at it and the droplets on it, on that wax coated leaf, and just the way the droplet kind of rolls down, or how the plant the leaf has different patterns which are sometimes symmetrical, or which have a very different pattern, like a polka dot, or three different colors, kind of like a canvas painted. So these are all, I think, art forms of nature, and that is what helps you calm down, relax, or even kind of gets you excited that, oh, this is such a cool thing. Why don't I get inspired from it? And then, you end up doing something, right?
That's a very lovely way to look at it. And since we're talking about it, there is a change in how a consumer looks at plants. Earlier, as you said, it used to be just tulsi, ya fir ek do flower plants that we used to look at. Normal nurseries sell these 40, 50 types of plants.
Yeah.
What made you add that 200 plus exotic species to your model? And I mean, what was the change in a customer's behavior that pushed you towards this?
So we have studied gardening very carefully over the years. We have talked to like thousands of our customers. So we strongly believe that gardening is a journey, or plant parenting is a journey. You start with one or two plants which are easy to care, which won't die upon you very easily. Then as you go, like maybe 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, then that intrigues you, that okay, what more? Then you'll buy more plants. Some people will buy bigger plants, some people will buy hanging plants and all. So this journey has various stages in it. The exotic plants or the rare plants that we sell are more for the plant lovers. That now, let's say my mom has 4 other friends, and she will see some plant at one of her friends' place which she hasn't seen at a nursery, and she feel, oh, that's so cool, because plants are also collector's pieces now. Like you look at bonsais, they're starting from 3 lakhs. You look at some of the orchids, they start from 12,000, 10,000. So the more you graduate or the more you mature in this journey, the more you're driven towards exotic plants, or what's new, which variety has been bred fresh, what is that one thing that I will have that my friends will not have. So in that pursuit, you're always looking out for newer varieties. And then that also, I mean, as I said, it's a collector's it's a collector's item. You can never put a full stop to this. It's like how fashion also keeps evolving. The same way varieties will keep evolving. During COVID, during 2022, succulents were super hot. Like everyone wanted succulents. Now we hardly sell any succulents because now the craze has gone. Last year it was all about monsteras and fiddle figs and all. Now that has started to slow down. Now we see a lot of palms picking up, a lot of orchids picking up. Next year we are anticipating that poinsettia will pick up, the red leaf plant that we get during winters. So it's a very it follows a certain trend, and the growers, we have to anticipate what is going to become hot, and then that's how we also, let's say, people rent plants from us, right? All these production houses or the Netflix and Amazon Primes of the world today, they also rent plants from us. So then we also suggest certain plants that we know are going to pick up. So once you see that in a series or a film, you're like, oh, what is that? That's really cool. And then that's how things pick up. So it's like, jo dikhega, wo bikega. It's
So
as
more
easy
like
as
you're driving the trend and then keeping that in storage beforehand.
Yes, because we need to produce 6 months before, na? It's now never a machine that, okay, it has to be sold today, then I start manufacturing today. We need to start 1 year earlier. So 1 year earlier, we know, okay, this is something new that has come. Where all can we place it? Or where can the visibility be high? Maybe our marketing campaigns also. Like we'll slowly place it, somewhere on our website banners or the ads. So that over a period of time, when you keep looking at it, you're like, oh, I've seen this, like I really want it. And that's how we build trends also. And of course, the film world is there, designers are there. I mean, internet can go crazy on any plant.
Apart from these, what are the different ways of gauging these trends? How do you make sure you're following the trend at least?
A lot of traveling. a lot of visiting these smaller garden stores across countries, even just kind of, being in those Facebook groups, of India. Like the Kerala Aroid group has like some 11 lakh people. There is, every society has a group. So there are larger groups on Facebook. Over there, people are always inquiring there or putting photos. Such a beautiful plant, like, it's a very rare plant available in the Amazon rainforest. Now there are 10 pieces that I have got in my luggage. Who wants it? Then we will be the ones to procure it. Then we study the propagation. We study whether the cutting is the right way or we can do tissue culture. And then we start building up the inventory, and it's never a 1 year thing. Like, let's say there's a rare plant that has come. I will procure it right now. I'll produce it for a period of 1.5 years and then take it to market. So it's a long thing.
Yeah.
It's not something that I can quickly see, copy or bech dala.
What would you say are the opportunities if someone wants to enter the nursery market today?
I think the nursery market is growing more than ever. There are a lot of young growers that have come in. Earlier on, it was more unorganized, wherein people did not know which fertilizers to give, kya variety hai, where to get it from, what are the sources. I think everything is now available online. If you travel well, if you just visit other nurseries, you'll be able to quickly grasp on what are the growing techniques and all. See, in order to get into this, if the intention is to make money, you're never going to be successful. This is a category or a field where there has to be passion coming from within. It's not easy. It's not as easy as tech or even doing an F&B brand or a clothing brand or a home decor. This is not a sourcing game. There's a lot of passion. You need to be out there in the sun. You need to do a lot of, trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You have to give it 3 months to really understand whether, whatever 3 trials you have done, whether that has worked or not. So you have to be patient. You have to be persistent. And if you have these qualities, I'm sure you will succeed. But yeah, I mean, it's not a very difficult category to get into. And if you have the passion for plants, you should definitely pursue it. For sure. Because it's ever growing. And I don't think there will be a time wherein people will say, I don't want plants or plants are boring. I don't think that will ever happen in our life cycle, at least.
I wanted to ask if you had, that one business lesson or something that impacted you so much that helped you go from point A to B.
I think it's just facing challenges and really entering into that uncharted territory is very much needed to challenge yourself to innovate and become efficient. There is no one playbook for any business, right? My category plays very different from an F&B category or a fashion category or electronics. So the idea is to kind of just quickly jump into things and then learn from it. Don't really think ki I will read and watch 20 podcasts and learn from it and then, okay, I will 100% succeed. I don't think that's the formula here. The idea is to jump and then figure out. So, being resilient and just having that attitude of take care. If I fail, I fail. Don't take too much stress about I have to succeed 100%. Right? It's okay. No one cares.
And if someone stumbles upon this podcast before their execution, what would you say are the threats that they need to look out for before entering this nursery business?
Sorry, in my business. I think we just focus more on the fundamentals. It's not about the revenues. Anyone can sell plants, right? I can just set up a nursery at the, right next to this building and start selling. So that's not the thing. It's all about how much you can innovate, how much you can reduce I would say, the effort of the consumer. What we believed was to make sure that it becomes easier. That was our first goal. Our first goal was never to make money. I was like, okay, 2 बार पानी देना पड़ता है ना, इसको एक बार कैसे किया जाए? Let's look at that. Then we did the self-watering pot. Then we were like, okay, now how do we make sure that we don't have to fertilize the plant for 6 months? Then we created recipes for each plant, added slow release fertilizers and all. Then we were like, okay, even if there is a 20-25 kilo box on the plant, how will it not get squished? Then we came up with the tube that Ugaoo is known for. You put a 50 kg box on it, it's not going to get squished. So all these things happen over time. So, innovate and find ways that will add value to the consumer. If you do a Me Too brand or a Me Too product, I doubt there's a lot of shelf life to that in today's times. I can understand 10-15 years ago, but today everyone is very smart. The new India is arising, and I think you have to really think about all these things thoroughly rather than just Shopify ka website dal diya and I just run a few campaigns. That's not going to make the cut.
So you can't really just replicate another Ugaoo without, say, a single USP about it.
And more than 50-60 people have replicated Ugaoo, right from the website to Instagram to also product name, price, sab kuch.
Oh God.
But I would say out of the 60, I think 50 have shut down. So yes, they come, they disrupt. But as I said, you cannot become a Me Too person in this. If I have to create or start a new Ola or an Uber, it's not going to make the cut today, right? Unless and until I offer something which is value added to what they are doing. So yeah, that's another.
I think, the way you talk about plants and the passion you have about it, that definitely sells out. To the audience, to me, it has. My boss won't really agree to it, but
I'm glad.
if it did, I would have joined. To wrap it up, putting a perfect bow on it, I want to conclude it with a rapid fire round. Right? We'll keep it as impromptu, as on fire as possible.
Done.
Okay. One course that you would recommend to our audiences?
How to use ChatGPT, very crucial, or how to use Canva. I think these two tools are beautiful right now. Very necessary for a founder.
One quality a startup founder should have?
Not caring too much about his own reputation and be okay to not doing well or failing and not thinking too much what will my parents think, what will my friends think. I think being carefree is what is missing in today's founders. A lot of research is being done before you start out. That is a blocker.
One way you can fight any hurdle or failure?
I think you have to be passionate about it. You have to be very curious. Okay, maybe 2 people have said no, but there is a chance that the third will say yes. So being very optimistic.
One business motto that gets you through?
Work for impact rather than revenues.
Your role model when it comes to business?
My father. I really admire him. I think he gave me the initial push to always pursue entrepreneurship. I never really did an internship or a job in any company. Right from graduation ceremony, I came here and started my own thing. So I think he's the one that I looked up to, and I can say that he's my idol when it comes to at least like business or creation.
If not for Ugaoo, what else would you be doing?
So I would definitely be in landscape architecture. I would have loved to practice. I love that field. I love to design. My entire reason to come back to India was to work on the Ganga revitalization project. I love to design public spaces, airports, golf courses. So hopefully I get to do that one day. I have not lost hope that I will not go back to it. But yeah, for now, if not Ugaoo, I would definitely start my own landscape design firm.
An idea that impacted you the most?
So it was like, how do I make the plants damage free? This idea came to me back in 2016 when I had ordered some posters for a restaurant business that I have. And they came up in these nice cardboard tubes, and I tried to press it. It was not getting pressed. I was like, wow, this material no one has tried. I mean, I can put a plant inside it and it won't get crushed or anything. So I think that idea really kind of differentiated Ugaoo as a company, and I was very happy and proud. I still am very proud of innovating that packaging, and that is known throughout the world now. When I go to gardening expos and I give a Ugaoo card, oh, you're the one with that paper tube packing. So that's one thing that I'm really proud of.
So that wraps up our rapid fire. But I want to ask one last question. Does money plant really bring in money?
I wish, because we have lakhs of money plants at the farm, but we are always struggling to getting money. But yes, I mean, there are certain plants which bring you luck, certain plants which are good for feng shui, certain plants which are good for vastu. See, my belief about plants, it's a living thing. If kept on a table, it emits certain kind of energy. It's nature. So it has something which is not quantifiable, something intangible that affects the space that we are in and us as humans. So there are certain plants where you feel better, or you're kind of always in a happier mood and all. And I wouldn't relate this to certain plants. Plants in general bring you positivity, energy, good luck, peace, good wealth, and fortune. So the idea is to keep buying more plants and buy a plant every month and buy a plant every week. The secret to a happy wife is buy her a plant every week.
And that's how you sell your plants to the last degree.
Yes.
That was a lovely conversation, Siddharth. Thank you so much for coming around here.
Thank you for having me on this podcast. This is one of my early podcasts, and I really enjoyed answering all the questions. I am really hopeful that whatever we spoke today inspires the next set of founders or people who have already started out and, looking at, thinking something new or maneuvering through their business cycles. This was a lovely avenue to kind of tell my story out there, and I hope you loved it. Please like, share, subscribe this podcast. I think
that was the best marketing we could get. Thank you so much, Siddharth.
Thank you.
Yes. Lovely having you here.